Hello students, this is Ms. Dalton and today's video is on function characteristics. There are lots of vocabulary words that you're going to need to know on function characteristics, and so that is what this video is going to go over. The first two vocabulary words are a positive interval and a negative interval. A positive interval is where the y values are greater than 0. So graphically, it is going to be the interval that is above the x-axis. Negative interval are where the y values are less than 0. So graphically, that's going to fall below the x-axis. So when we look at this example right here, the positive part of the graph would be above the x-axis, so it's this piece right here. So this would be the positive. Okay, and the negative interval is going to be the part that is below the x-axis. So it's going to be this side here and then also this side. So you don't have to have just one interval, it's just any piece that is below the x-axis. So this would be considered negative intervals. All right, two more. Increasing intervals. Increasing intervals are going to be when the y values are increasing as the x values are increasing. So graphically, that's going to be the part of the graph that is running uphill or that is, increasing. Makes sense, right? Decreasing. Decreasing is where the y values are decreasing as the x values are increasing. Graphically, that's going to be the part that's running downhill. So be careful that you don't get confused positive, negative intervals with increasing, decreasing. If we look at that same example that we looked at before, the increasing section is going to be this part of the graph. So that's going to be your increasing. And then decreasing is this side of the graph. And then just remember, I think students tend to get these confused with positive, negative because you just got finished talking about positive and negative slope, but they're different. So positive, negative are above and below the x-axis. Increasing is when you're going up the hill, decreasing is when you're going down the hill. Few more vocabulary words. Absolute global minimum. That is going to be the absolute lowest point on the graph. Absolutely nothing else is lower than this point. Now we can also have what's called a local minimum, which is a lowest point on a defined interval. So it's not necessarily the absolute lowest, but it is a minimum on a certain section of the graph. And then vice versa, we have the absolute global maximum, which is the absolute highest point. And then we have a local maximum, which is a high point, but not necessarily the highest point. So looking at this graph here, let's talk about the absolute maximum. The absolute maximum would be the absolute highest point. Okay, so right here, this one's going to be considered the absolute max. Okay, we also have an absolute minimum right here. This is going to be the absolutely lowest point. But then we also have a local max. A local max would be considered right here. Okay, but we also have a local max right here because those are maximum points for those sections of the graph. So like if I was only looking at this section right here, if I was going to only look from here to here, well then this point right here would be considered a local max. And then if I was only looking from, here to here, well, this would be considered a local max. okay? And so then we also have local minimum. We have a local minimum here. Oops, let's change that to a pin. We have a local minimum here, and we also have a local minimum here, okay? So those would be both considered local min. So the big word that I tend to just think of over and over is absolute. It is the absolute highest point, then that would be considered absolute max. If it's one of the highest points, then that would just be a local. All right, last vocabulary word, zeros, x-intercepts, and roots. You should remember this from Algebra 1. A zero, an x-intercept, root, those all mean the same thing. It's where the graph crosses the x-axis. Algebraically, it's going to be what values of x do we get when we substitute 0 in for y. Because again, if you think about an x-intercept, right, it's always going to have a 0 for your y. So if we plug in 0 for y, what does that x value become? Then that's going to be your x-intercept. Remember, all of these words, zeros, x-intercepts, roots, they all mean the same thing. So looking at this example, we have 3 zeros. We have a 0 here, we have a 0 here, and we have a 0 here. So again, zeros are the same thing as x-intercepts, and they're the same thing as roots. So we'll use all of those words interchangeably to mean the same thing. All right, so lots of vocabulary words, but make sure you know the definitions of each of them, and we'll do practice in class.